Hey everybody, Robert the Rogue Drap here, welcoming you again to the coroner's office. As I said in my last Raw review video, I've binge watched quite a few of these, so I'm gonna try and get through these as quick as I can. But this one from WWE Payback, and part of this page, I haven't done May 9th. And I still have to do yesterday's Raw, but I am going to get it out. I just want to do them in one Raw episode chunks. So let's start with this. We get a video package start in, because this is live from St. Louis, Missouri on May the 2nd. This is the payback, the post-payback Raw. So we have the video package of Shane and Stephanie being announced as 50-50 Raw partners, equal partners. Then they cut to AJ Styles versus Roman Reigns. Styles wins by countout, but that doesn't give him the title. Shane steps out, says no countouts. Reigns is disqualified due to a low blow. Steph comes out, says no DQ. That's when Gallows and Anderson come out and beat on Reigns. The Usos come out to help him equalize the field, and Reigns eventually retains via spear. You then see backstage that Shane and Stephanie make a agreeing match for Extreme Rules, which is coming up on the 22nd, that it should be an Extreme Rules match. This is a problem that the WWE has that I don't like. They have so many ubiquitous terms for a match that's going to just not have very many rules. You got no DQ, Extreme Rules, Street Fight. I mean, where do we draw the line? This is the open. Steph comes out with a red bag in her hand. She gets into the ring to start talking, and Shane immediately comes out to interrupt. And Steph gives Shane the red bag that she's carrying and says it's a peace offering. And it turns out to be the old photo of young Shane and Vince from I think it was like WrestleMania 4, something like that. That Vince had thrown on the ground and stomped on it. She says that this was, she knew how much it meant to him, all this. So I'm thinking, and I wrote here, possible face turn by Steph. I mean, I don't know that I'd like to have Steph be the straight out good guy, but there are worse things. Steph does that who do you want to see more of thing that Shane did the week before. And Owens comes out and pitches that he should have his rematch, that he's due a rematch. He's already done taking care of Zayn. It's already over. That's done. Now he's going to focus up on his title, and he wants it that evening. Cesaro comes out and points out that he had The Miz tapping before Owens and Zayn came out to interrupt. Shane makes a Cesaro-Owens match that with the implication that whoever wins this match is going to then get their next title shot against The Miz, who retained on at Payback. They go to commercial. They come back. The Miz and his wife, whose name I forget because she's not important, come back on commentary, and the match is already underway. I like how Cesaro jumped off the barricade. I mean, he's a big guy. For him to be doing these kind of high-risk maneuvers where you got to jump and you got to get these other things, it's not easy. I loved Miz on commentary. Just his whole shtick was perfect. Um, at one point, Cesaro hit a gut wrench suplex from the top rope on Owens. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Owens is not a small guy. For anybody to be hefting him around is powerful, you know. Excuse me. Um, Owens hits a frog splash to the outside, then starts talking smack at Miz. Uh, Miz gets Owens disqualified. A brawl ensues. Zayn comes out. Haluva kicks Owens. Before he could do it to Cesaro, I'm sorry, to anybody else, actually. I think he was going after Miz. Miz gets out of there and leaves his belt on the apron. Zayn picks it up, and the crowd chants yes, yes, while he hefts it up. Um, Steph backstage runs into Dean Ambrose, who doesn't fully buy the reform act of Steph. Steph says she wants to do an AMA on the Ambrose Asylum. Um, Next, we get Styles in a locker room with Gallows and Anderson talking about the payback match. Reigns interrupts. Styles starts holding Gallows and Anderson back, and I believe it was Reigns who said, "Can you three guys beat us three guys?" And it's basically a 3-on-3 tag match. Styles and Gallows Anderson versus Reigns and the Usos. Uh, Next, we get the New Day. Oh, the New Day. I always, I always love their segments. It's always beautiful to see it. It's great. Uh, they took a minute to point out the Saint Louis ain't booty sign that was in the crowd. They mentioned Enzo Amore's injury. For those of you who didn't get to see it or haven't heard yet, Enzo Amore was in the Enzo and Cass were in the number one contendership match, the finals of the Booty-O sponsored number one contenders tourney for the tag team champions, tag team championship. When I guess the idea was to have Enzo slide under the ropes after being thrown into a slide under the ropes, and he was supposed to be outside the ring. Well, his face and part of his arm hit the second rope, and he went flat back, and it knocked him out. They thought he broke his neck, and as it turned out, thankfully, it was not that serious. He suffered a concussion, and he's out of the hospital now. He's just kind of in recovery, and waiting to be cleared. So it's good to see that a promising and brilliant talent like his is not being taken from us before it really had the chance to go somewhere. Big E on the mic is great. New Day promos. In the middle of New Day's promo, the Vaudevillains interrupt and demand the title shot, undercutting Enzo's injury, saying basically that real men wouldn't have succumbed to that kind of thing. Real men wouldn't have stopped. No, I think that real men, had that not happened, I think the match would have been scheduled to be Enzo and Cass winning, but we may never know. The Dudleys come out because they have to, and they call the Vaudevillains carnies, which I kind of always thought that was a little, the pot calling the kettle black. Points out that the Vaudevillains didn't win, so they need to start the whole tourney. Big Cass comes out, threatens the Vaudevillains, threatens the Dudleys, gets in the ring to beat on the Vaudevillains, and Dudleys attack New Day, leading to the tag match that is happening there. The New Day and Big Cass versus Vaudevillains and the Dudleys. I like the New Day just because the stable works and they're doing what they want to do, and I think that the writers are giving them a lot of leeway, and they have a lot of talent, so it's always good to see them in. And I hadn't up until this point seen uh, Xavier get in the ring with anybody. I used to watch Kofi when they were playing up his whole Jamaican thing, and I really like that. He didn't get as much chance on the mic as he does now, which was a crime because he's fine. But anyway, Cass boots one of I'm sorry, Xavier drop kicking Bubba Ray Dudley was just beautiful because he's a lot like Kofi Kingston, where they're both high energy, high impact, high flyers, and he just standing drop kick, just boom, straight to the face. I loved it. Cass booted, I forget. Oh yeah, it was Devon was on the ring apron. He big boots Devon in the face, which he lands into Big E's arms, and he does the belly to booty, which was just a belly to belly suplex right there, and I thought that was kind of cool. The win actually ended up happening by Cass hitting his finisher called the East River Crossing on Devon for the 3 count. And that's when New Day starts celebrating with Big Cass. It had the potential to be the best match of the evening. I'm still kind of on the fence about it, even having seen it and, kind of stepping back and looking at it again. It was a great match. It was just phenomenal. And I want to see more of Big Cass, and he's getting to stretch his muscles a little bit as far as the mic work that he does, and that'll come up in my next video on the May 9th Raw. Yeah, he had a good segment. Next we have Ambrose Asylum with Steph, who starts by using a lot of really big words. She uses a lot of those $5, what we like to call $5 words, for no reason at all. Compliments Dean's set. Dean is dubious about Steph's attitude, and brings up WrestleMania, what happened there with Roman Reigns spearing her. And he keeps trying to provoke her. This, in turn, it didn't really work the way that he wanted it to. I guess he wanted to see her just, scream and yell and all this. She didn't scream or yell. She actually, after a lot of goading, cancels the Ambrose Asylum and reinstates the highlight reel. It's at this point Jericho comes out. There's a scuffle. Jericho counters the Dirty Deeds with a code breaker, and then while he's outside the ring, picks up Mitch the Houseplant. I didn't know they named the Houseplant. I up until this point had no idea. And smashes the pot over Ambrose's head, and then starts gloating in his ear. And it's like, if he's awake, he'd probably be trying to get back up. He wasn't moving. He looked like he was out. So, they go to commercial. They come back, and it's a random battle royale for #1 contender of the United States title, because Kalisto yet again retained against Ryback. I think that they should have just, back when they had the I'm the big man, you're the little man, the big man always wins thing going. They should have just let that be the point where Ryback took the title, and that whole thing is just terrible. Kalisto is on commentary for this, so they're talking a lot about who they want to see win, so they can see who gets the next title shot. Um, a couple eliminations that I was really happy about was Sheamus brogue kicks to Creed, who was apparently undefeated. So I guess that streak's over. Ziggler gets pulled out by Corbin and beat up before he gets fed to Rusev, who eliminates him. Kalisto, after JBL, telling him, "Oh, you're such a small guy. I have no idea how you keep winning. Didn't you get beat by Rey Mysterio?" Was basically Kalisto's response, and JBL was like, "Oh, I wasn't 100%. I had the sniffles, all this. No, I'm not. I wasn't buying it." Zack Ryder gets ganged up by the final four was, because my internet was cutting in and out. The final four was the League of Nations, who have now apparently just completely lost Wade Barrett. He's just done now. You're never going to see him again. And they actually brought that up in a like an interview. They said we shipped him out. We're stronger now without him. So League of Nations jumps on Zack Ryder before they implode. Del Rio gets the elimination on Sheamus before Rusev tosses him out with help by Ryder. Ryder tried to just kind of sling him over the ropes, but Rusev reversed it for the win. And Lana came down to celebrate. Here's the thing. Zack Ryder is getting one of the worst rides in the WWE, and it's not his fault. Like I said, I've been binge watching Raws now, and I've been seeing that Zack Ryder just gets the short end of the stick. He's got in-ring talent. He's fought his way out of an old persona it was the worst persona you could ever have, and now he's back again, and he's getting just shipped around and his ass kicked by so many people, and there's no call for it. But moving on. They come back from a commercial, and Charlotte is in the ring with Ric Flair to talk about her win at Payback, saying, to finally put an end to this question of controversy, I'm going to call out the one man who could tell us the truth, and that's Charles Robinson. Now, I don't really know anything about the refs other than I've heard that they're supposed to call every match like it's real. Like, this is not fake. This is not scripted. You're supposed to act like all of this is real. But she calls him out and asks him if there was any payoff, if her connection, his long-standing friendship to the family of the Flairs, had anything to do with it, and he said no, not at all. And she actually basically was coaching him through the whole thing. And I wrote here, I say there is bad writing in this world, and then there's this. Because this was just so cringeworthy to watch. I didn't enjoy it at all. Just terrible segment, just dragged on far too long. Natalya comes out straight up accusing Rick of paying Robinson off. Charlotte rolls out of the ring because now she's, eyeballing Rick. Rick takes off his jacket, his ring, and his watch. Like, he takes everything off and he's ready for it. Only to get beat down and put into a sharpshooter. That's embarrassing, Rick. I mean, I understand you're not a spring chicken. You're a two-time Hall of Famer, but Jesus, that's bad. Uh, Steph runs into the Flares backstage, and rather than calling down Natalia for what just happened, she sets a rematch at Extreme Rules. It's going to be a submissions only match, and Ric Flair is banned from ringside, so he can't even show up. And I wrote here, Charlotte looks like her dog like she just heard her dog ran away. Rick's like, Rick is stone faced. It doesn't even phase him. The main event. There is hardcore cheering for AJ Styles and hardcore boos for Roman Reigns. Michael Cole and the commentary seem to talk extensively about Gallows and Anderson's Japanese wrestling career. Gallows tags himself in to beat down on Reigns before they go to commercial break, and then they come back, and it's Styles going against one of the Usos. Reigns gets the hot tag and just dominates. Styles, however, wins with a phenomenal forearm on one of the Usos, while Gallows Anderson beat on Reigns. Styles isn't at all into the post-match beatdown, and they handed him a chair to hit Roman Reigns in the face with, and he drops it. He's like, nope, I'm not doing that. I'm going to be better than that. And the Usos come in and hit Styles with said chair. Gallows Anderson, distract him, disarm him, and Styles takes the chair and beats them both down. Now this was total back shots, not like face shots with a chair. Reigns goes ballistic because he sees the whole thing happen. The last shot of the show I'm going to call the toe tag. Styles gets power bombed through a table. Roman Reigns then stands over top of him, yay, I'm the man. I did this. And nobody likes it. It was, I guess they kind of muted the crowd because it wasn't as loud as I would have expected the boos to be. But overall, a forgettable Raw. It really wasn't all that great. I'm glad I took extensive notes because looking back on it now, I wouldn't have honestly recalled it 5 minutes after watching it. Completely forgettable, terrible matching, and the next Raw kind of did a little better from what I've seen so far. But we're gonna see where this whole Steph Shane alliance goes. She seems to kind of be rubbing off on him. He kind of seems to be rubbing off on her, and that's not a terrible thing. So, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Give me a reason to keep doing this to myself where I just kind of run ragged. So, see you next time.